Συναντήσεις με γερουσιαστές και μέλη του Κογκρέσου είχαν την Τετάρτη 28 Μαρτίου στο Καπιτόλιο ηγετικά στελέχη της Ελληνοαμερικανικής Οργάνωσης AHEPA με επικεφαλής τον ύπατο πρόεδρο Δ. Τζον Ρωσομανίδη. Οι συζητήσεις τράφηκαν γύρω από τα κύρια θέματα που απασχολούν την ελληνοαμερικανική κοινότητα σήμερα, το Οικουμενικό Πατριαρχείο, το Κυπριακό, το θέμα της ονομασίας της FYROM. Η ολοήμερη επίσκεψη στο Καπιτόλιο ολοκληρώθηκε με επίσημο δείπνο, στη διάρκεια του οποίου τιμήθηκαν με το βραβείο Pericles οι βουλευτές John Sarbanes του Maryland και Ed Royce της Καλιφόρνια. Το βραβείο Excellence Leadership απονεμήθηκε στον πρόεδρο της Κυπριακής Ομοσπονδίας Αμερικής Panicos Papanicolaou και το βραβείο Outstanding Public Advocacy στον πρόεδρο του Ελληνοαμερικανικού Ινστιτούτου Larigakis.
Good evening. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate this recognition from AHEPA. It means a tremendous amount to me. I want to begin by, however, talking about Frank Pallone. He just talked about me, and he was very, very generous. But I have to tell you, there is nobody, and I mean this, there's nobody in Congress, and there's certainly nobody in the House of Representatives who's more reliable when it comes to advocating on the issues that matter to the Greek-American community than Frank Pallone. He is an absolute stalwart, and I've had the opportunity, as he mentioned, to work with him on a number of different committees, and we've worked together on issues that have come up that affect our community. And he's not just somebody who sort of reads the talking points. He knows this stuff intimately. You got a taste of it just as he was talking. He understands the issues in depth that we care about. And so when he speaks from the heart and from a real clear understanding of these issues. And I want to thank him on behalf. I mean, you would expect that the Greek Americans in Congress, like myself, would care deeply and understand in a very personal way the issues that affect our community. But to have somebody like Frank Pallone makes a different statement. I want to also commend the others that are being recognized here this evening, Congressman Royce for his outstanding work with respect to our community. Panicos Papanicolaou, who is such a tremendous resource on so many issues for us, but really sort of carrying the torch when it comes to the issue of Cyprus, as you all know, and he's so well-deserving. And Larigakis from the American Hellenic Institute, who's also being recognized tonight. They're all doing very, very important work. We're also joined by Bilirakis this evening, Shelley Berkeley. There may be some other members that I'm not seeing, but I want to thank all of them for their leadership. And we work together as a team on the issues that matter to our community, and we always present those issues in terms of what it means for the United States of America. That's what makes the case so powerful. Our interests are not parochial interests. They're interests that we maybe pay a little more attention to in the Greek American community because it's natural for us to do so. But when we get the opportunity to make the case to our colleagues in other communities, we can do so based on why it's so important for the interests of the United States. I want to particularly thank the whole family of AHEPA. This is such a wonderful organization, its roots go back to this idea of fighting discrimination. That's how AHEPA came to be. And if you think of the name of it, the American Hellenic Educational and Progressive Association, always standing for progress, always for the idea that we can do better as a society and willing to step up and make the contribution to see that happen. I've talked often about this idea of Hellenism in the public service, the idea of our community giving back. And what I mean by that is even as we preserve our own strong identity, by standing firm and strong with these organizations like AHI and AHEPA, making sure that the church is strong in our community. Even as we do that, we have the opportunity to give back to the broader society and develop a reputation for doing so. And the way I capture this is I say, in the future, when I go to a city or a town, and I'm saying this today to some folks, if I go to a city and town, I say, what's your impression of the Greek community? If I ask a non-Greek American, then in addition to them saying, well, my favorite Greek restaurant is, Thalassa, or I like to go to the Greek festival every year at St. Nicholas's, they'll say, our impression of the Greek community is that it's a community that gives back. That if you go to the board of the local hospital or the local museum, you'll find a Greek American business person serving on that board. If you go to the schools, you'll see that the teachers include Greek Americans. If you go to the hospitals, the doctors and the nurses will include Greek Americans because they have made a decision to give back to the broader society, and they have a reputation for doing so. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity. And I will tell you that my interest in this idea of Hellenism in public service was partly inspired, John, by AHEPA. Because when you look at AHEPA, when you look at what it's done over the years, it stands for that principle of giving back to the broader American society. So I want to congratulate AHEPA on its wonderful contribution. I want to thank you, John. I want to thank the board, represented by Nick Karakostas here. I want to thank Basil Mosaidi, all of the staff and those at AHEPA that work so hard day in and day out. And I want to close with this other commendation, and that is to the youth. I had the privilege today of hosting up at the Capitol representatives from AHEPA that were here today on the Hill visiting offices. But I was particularly excited that we had so many young people there. We had representatives from the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, the National Hellenic Student Association, the Cypriot Youth Committee of America, which is connected to the organization that Panicos is so involved with and has led for so long. Hellenext, I know, is in the house. We had the youth, the next generation of the Greek American community. And that gives me a lot of inspiration. And I want to thank those young people for being here today, because you're the future. And I want to advise you, if I could for a second, don't strive to be something. Strive to do something. Because Frank will tell you, and Shelley will tell you that, and Ed will tell you, among our colleagues, Gus will say, there are some people who just want to be here in order to be something. They just want to be a member of Congress, but they sort of forget about doing something. Figure out what you want to do, and that will lead you to the career that you want to have. Maybe a member of Congress, and maybe something else. But I'm sure, given your presence here tonight, it will be something where you're giving back to the country. And last observation, at a time when Greece is facing very, very difficult struggle that we all know about, and it hurts us, it pains us to watch what's happening in Greece. Again, I think it's the young people that are going to make the difference. If the young people in this country, in the Greek American community, reach out to their counterparts in Greece, they can capture their idealism and they will drive hope for the future in Greece. So thanks to the young people, thanks to AHEPA, thank you so much for this wonderful recognition tonight. I appreciate it.
I would like to acknowledge Congresswoman Shelley Berkley, who's going to be hosting us for our national convention in Las Vegas this summer. Good luck in your campaign.
I'm sure it'll be only 100.
And moving on, the second presenter of the 2012 Pericles Award is no stranger to the Greek American community or the Order of AHEPA. In fact, he was the 2011 recipient of the AHEPA Pericles Award and gave such a short speech last year that we allowed him to be the presenter this year. Ladies and gentlemen, AHEPA Congressman and co-chair of the Hellenic Caucus, Congressman Bilirakis.
This is going to be a little difficult because the lighting is difficult for me, but Kalispera σας. First of all, I want to recognize Paul, our distinguished Master of Ceremonies, of course, our President, and also the President, daughters Penelope, and then also our Executive Director, my good friend Basil Mosaidis, done an outstanding job, and of course our wonderful ambassador from Cyprus, Pavlos Anastasiadis, all of you wonderful people. Our Greek consulate is here as well, my fellow members of Congress, and also, of course, our recipients this evening, Panicos, my good friend John Sarbanes. Τα είπες σωστά και ωραία, Γιάννη. I'm not going to have the luxury of reading my introduction because it's very difficult for me to see. But I just want to tell you that you made an outstanding choice with Mr. Ed Royce. He's an outstanding, great friend of mine, one of the top 5 best members of Congress, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, guys, that I don't say anything unless I mean it. And on our issues, Ed is somebody that you don't have to go up to and twist his arm. He's there already. I mean, on every issue, when it comes to Cyprus, he's there for us. When it comes to our Patriarchate, he's there for us. Halki, he's there for us. The issue with FYROM, Ed is always there for us. He's an outstanding member of Congress, and I'm telling you, you picked a wonderful person to honor tonight. Ed Royce is, in my opinion, Axios. So, Axios. But without further ado, I know he's ready to get up to. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Ed Royce, and it gives me great pleasure. He's a great friend and a great Phil Helene. It gives me great pleasure to give him, to present on behalf of the Order of AHEPA, the Pericles Award.
All right.
Here's the official.
Oh, this is official.
Well, thank you, all of you here. I really want to begin by thanking AHEPA for your efforts in the community over the years, an effort to really focus on education and philanthropy and, frankly, your culture. And I want to say a word tonight about that culture, because the people that we have in this audience tonight have a right to be the proudest of peoples. If you think about a culture that managed to hang on, hold on for 400 years under occupation and hold on to their language and their religion and their culture and their Greek sense of life, 400 years of occupation and genocidal acts beyond imagination committed to your people. But when you reflect that what your society was holding on to, a little Greek dictionary with it to make sure they got the syntax right. And from their standpoint, if Cicero was going to speak Greek on the issues of political economy in Rome, they could do it here, because what they were seeking to do was to establish an enlightenment based upon the same principles that the Greek Enlightenment was founded upon. And it's the rediscovery, after 1,000 years of flatlining of the Dark Ages, of those Aristotelian principles: logic, reason, scientific method, I mean, this is Western civilization. And whether or not we recognized it, I guarantee you that Jefferson and Madison understood it and tried to share that with their comrades as they tried to erect here. Why do you think the Federalist buildings around here have the look that they had? Jefferson was an amateur architect. He was pushing that kind of architecture. He was totally convinced that if we could get people to think as they did during Hellenic civilization, we could recreate civilization coming out of, you know, a very dark period of history. So when we reflect tonight on this issue, and I must say it's an honor to receive the Pericles Award, Pericles himself being basically the spokesman for the democratic ideal that we seek to emulate, and having rebuilt Athens after the Persian Wars. When we think of Pericles, I will tell you the feeling I get. There's a popular book out that takes Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and paragraph by paragraph matches it to Pericles' speech. And I don't think we all realize that before the 1800s, among educated people, Pericles' oration was the best known speech in the Western world. Pericles' oration to the Athenians. And 30 years after the Gettysburg Address, it was Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. But look to the meaning of democracy in Pericles' speech, and then look at how Abraham Lincoln handles that issue. And you begin to understand it was not just the architects of this republic, but going forward, those who really understood in public life what we were striving for, understood what you understand, which is you have been able to preserve those ideals through all of these generations and inculcate your children, you know, bring up your children and acculturize them to Hellenic ideals. That is why I admire all of you, and frankly, that is why I have worked as hard as I have in terms of some of the legislation that I've authored. One in particular this year that Gus and I have worked on, that I authored, which puts pressure on Turkey to recognize not just the Ecumenical Patriarchate, but to allow the churches to stay open in Turkey, to protect the church property, to protect the right of every Greek Orthodox youngster to be raised in the Greek Orthodox faith in Turkey, to allow the schools to be open, the property to be owned, and most importantly, to make certain that that last lamp of liberty, which that community has carried since the day, every bit of leverage at our disposal to make certain that that freedom and those rights remain in Turkey for the Greek Orthodox population there. And I'll just say a word here about the Cypriot population as well, because I've traveled to Cyprus and talked to the president of Cyprus at long length about these issues. We have got to figure out ways to link up with some of the Turkish Cypriots that I talked to in northern Cyprus, who have shared with me their desire to get the occupying force out. I mean, their desire, okay, maybe have 500 Turkish troops, 500 Greek troops, but let's figure out some way to get the occupying army off of the island so that the people of Cyprus can come together. It's my commitment to do everything in my power to continue along that road, and to that end, I'll continue to work with Gus and with Frank. Thank you all very much for this opportunity.
We're going to be providing tonight our newly established awards that were established by the Supreme Lodge. At this time, the because we're under a time constraint, I would like to ask past Supreme President and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Order of the AHEPA, Nicholas Pericles, to please step to the podium.
Thank you, Carl. Distinguished guests, all honorees this evening, AHEPA family and friends. I take this personal privilege to rise and introduce a presenter of the next award, because both the presenter and the recipient are very special to me because of how I grew up and the fight that they have championed on behalf of the great Republic of Cyprus. The presenter, who will talk to you about the next recipient, is a man who has spent his adult career fighting for the freedom and justice of the people of Cyprus. He is also a brother AHEPan, and most importantly, has spent almost 38 years of his own time, money, expense, fighting for the freedom of Cyprus. He's currently the president of the Pan-Cyprian Association and also the president of the International Coordinating Committee, Justice for Cyprus, and most recently, in 2011, the recipient of the AHEPA Freedom Award that he received in Miami at our annual Supreme Convention. So, in order to present the next award, I give you Mr. Philip Christopher from New York City.
See, that's what happens when you have a nephew that becomes president of AHEPA. I have no problem. Congressman Papanicolaou, Congressman Shelley Berkeley, Congressman Bilirakis, and Congressman Sarbanes. Let me first congratulate AHEPA and your president, Dr. Usmanidis, and thank you for all you have been doing all of these years for Cyprus. AHEPA has been an unbelievable organization. I am proud to be a member, and you have, since 1974 when the invasion took place, AHEPA has been step by step by our side. Before I present Panicos for the Leadership Award, let me also congratulate Nick Larigakis, who has done such a tremendous job at the American Atlantic Institute. And the American Atlantic Institute and Eugene Rossides were there from the beginning in 1974, working for the cause. I am a lot younger than you think, because I was there with George Limanos and George Panicos and Andy Athens right from the beginning. And you know what George Panicos did for AHEPA over the years, and all of the leadership ideas that have come to AHEPA over the years. So let me congratulate you one more time. Let me thank Nicholas Pericles, who is your chairman and has done such a great job. Once again, thank the board and Dr. Usmanidis for everything that AHEPA has done. We Cypriots are only, Greek Cypriots, are only 50,000 in the United States, John. We're not that many. But we mingle very well with all the Greek Americans, and we try and take charge to make sure that, when your homeland is suffering, you have more determination and more dedication. Let me thank the Cyprus Federation of America that came all the way from New York. For Panicos, they drove 6 hours in a bus to be here, and take a round of applause. Let me thank the Pan-Cyprians of Washington, D.C., Pino and Tom. Take a round of applause for Pan-Cyprians of Washington, D.C. And let me acknowledge, of course, the Ambassador of Cyprus, Mr. Anastasiadis, who has done such a great job. So I'm here to present the recipient, Panicos Papanicolaou, who is the president of the Cyprus Federation of America. I've been there from the beginning, and I've met all of our leaders over the years. Panicos has only took charge of the Cyprus Federation, and I'm not sure how many terms he's been serving as president. I think maybe 4. He has done an outstanding job in elevating the Cyprus Federation to the highest level ever. Not only in terms of the American government, the Cyprus government, the Greek government. Panicos Papanicolaou has done that. I don't have to tell you that when you are president of any organization, you have to spend time, money, and effort, and you have to be prepared to sacrifice your personal life, your family. The cause comes first. No matter where we are, no matter what we do, Cyprus and the Greek national causes come first. This is what we live with. 38 years have passed by, but our destination is still the same. We're all together in the same journey, but the destination is one, and that's reaching a free Geringia in Cyprus. So Peter Papanicolaou has been directing the Cyprus Federation for the past 8 years. All of you know his story. He came here after serving in the army in Cyprus as a student. He worked as a dishwasher, he worked as a waiter, different restaurants in New Jersey to pay for his school. He got his degree in civil engineering, started his own company, and the rest is history. And it goes back to what Congressman Sarbanes says, the willingness to give back. No matter what happens, if you're not prepared to give, you cannot be a leader. And Peter Papanicolaou is a leader. He gave back, he sacrificed his family, his time, his personal time to build up the Cyprus Federation and help us with the Cyprus cause. So Peter, I'm very proud to be here to present the award. As a past recipient of the AHEPA award, I am very proud of the fact that AHEPA has done such a great job. And Dr. Kousoumanidis and Big Wosters, if you can come up, because I think you represent AHEPA more than anyone else. And let me also say that the person that's next to Panicos, Dimitris Kaloidis, you may know, you may have heard of him, is an individual that gives more to our community than any person I know. Every cause, every event that we have, every fundraiser that we have, Dimitris Kaloidis and you should meet his wife Georgia, who's the smarter of the two and does so much better. Georgia Kaloidis, who serves in the New York Hospital with me as well, and please give her the best regards. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the President of the Cyprus Federation of America.
Thank you, Philip, for your generous introduction. I just hope that I'm not going to be fighting for Cyprus for 38 years like you. Let's hope that we get a solution, very soon. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. I want to thank AHEPA for this leadership award. It means a great deal to me, coming from an organization like AHEPA. I want to congratulate the other honorees of the night, Congressman Sarbanes. You've been doing so much for our community, and I just want to tell the youth that whatever Congressman Sarbanes said to you, I think take it very seriously, because that's the only way that our community will continue to progress and we'll see a lot of success from our youth. Congressman Ed Royce, I think from yours an example of the caliber of a member of Congress you are, and of course it shows how right AHEPA was to present you with the Pericles award. But also we have 3 other members of Congress here. For Bilirakis, I'm not going to speak because he's one of our own. We have half of our own from the congressman from Nevada, which she's running for the Senate, and I want to wish her good luck. We visited Cyprus together. She's been a great advocate of the Cyprus issue. But also we have with us probably one of the greatest members of Congress when it comes to the Cyprus and the Greek American issue, in the name of Frank Pallon, who knows the Cyprus issue, I think, better than a lot of the members of Congress. He's been in Cyprus, and for many years now he's been doing an excellent job, not just for Cyprus and the Greek issues, but I think for the state of New Jersey. I want to thank the members of the Cyprus Federation that are here today, and I think nobody can succeed in a position as a president of an organization unless he has the support and the help of its board. And I think I was very lucky to have people from the Cyprus Federation that are here tonight, not just because they came, but because for many years we've been working together for a common goal, which is our priorities, the solution of the Cyprus problem, but also we face a lot of other problems in our community, including the issue of education, the issue of supporting the youth with scholarships, especially lately with the tough economic situation in Greece and Cyprus. We've been trying to help a lot of sick people visiting the United States for medical reasons. And I think when it comes to organizations, the Cyprus Federation always is trying to work together with all the Greek American organizations. As Philip said, we're trying to have a good relationship and have a good cooperation. And I think AHEPA has been there for us from day one, through the hard times of Cyprus in 1974. And I'm very glad to say that our cooperation is improving every day. I want to thank the board of AHEPA, the Supreme Lodge, and all the members, because I think when Cyprus really needed a big help back in 1974, not just on the political issue, but on the financial issue to the refugees and the young children of Cyprus living in the camps, AHEPA stepped forward, and I think it was the driving force behind all the help that went to Cyprus. And last but not least, I want to congratulate Bilirakis, who heads one of the major Greek American organizations that we've been working very closely. And make good luck to your work, and thanks to everyone for being here tonight. Of the caliber of a member of Congress you are, and of course it shows how right AHEPA was to present you with the Pericles award. But also we have three other members of Congress here. For Bilirakis, I'm not going to speak because he's one of our own. We have half of our own from the Congressman from Nevada, which you know, she's running for the Senate, and I want to wish her good luck. We visited Cyprus together. She's been a great advocate of the Cyprus issue. But also we have with us probably one of the greatest members of Congress when it comes to the Cyprus and the Greek American issue, in the name of Frank Pallon, who knows the Cyprus issue, I think, better than a lot of the members of Congress. He's been in Cyprus, and for many years now he's been doing an excellent job, not just for Cyprus and the Greek issues, but I think for the state of New Jersey. I want to thank the members of the Cyprus Federation that are here today, and I think nobody can succeed in a position as a president of an organization unless he has the support and the help of its board. And I think I was very lucky to have people from the Cyprus Federation that are here tonight, not just because they came, but because for many years we've been working together for a common goal, which is our priorities, the solution of the Cyprus problem, but also we face a lot of other problems in our community, including the issue of education, the issue of supporting the youth with scholarships, especially lately with the tough economic situation in Greece and Cyprus. We've been trying to help a lot of sick people visiting the United States for medical reasons. And I think when it comes to organizations, the Cyprus Federation always is trying to work together with all the Greek American organizations. As Philip said, we're trying to have a good relationship and have a good cooperation. And I think AHEPA has been there for us from day one, through the hard times of Cyprus in 1974. And I'm very glad to say that our cooperation is improving every day. I want to thank the board of AHEPA, the Supreme Lodge, and all the members, because I think when Cyprus really needed a big help back in 1974, not just on the political issue, but on the financial issue to the refugees and the young children of Cyprus living in the camps, AHEPA stepped forward, and I think it was the driving force behind all the help that went to Cyprus. And last but not least, I want to congratulate Bilirakis, who is one of the major Greek American organizations that we've been working very closely. And Nick, good luck to your work, and thanks to everyone for being here tonight.
Outstanding Public Advocacy Award is the AHEPA Executive Director, Basil Mercedes.
Thank you all very much. I want to say a few words before I talk about Nick, and I told him I was going to roast him tonight, but because of the wonderful lighting here, I can't read my notes. I first want to start out by saying thank you for everybody, to everyone for coming, because this is a very, very important day for the Order of AHEPA. Our annual AHEPA Day on the Hill is only as successful as when we have this many people come and attend. This year we had 18 states represented, which is wonderful. So I want to thank all of you for coming. Every congressman or member of Congress that talked to us today stated that, listen, money's good, PAC is good, all that other stuff is good, but nothing works better than when you knock on their door, because they know you're here. And we're very proud of all the members of Congress that are with us today. I think Brother John came and spoke to us on the steps of the Capitol and said, advocacy, no matter large or small, is the most important thing we can do. So we want to thank them for their time and their direction on helping us communicate with our members of Congress. So thank you. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my friend from the B'nai B'rith, Dan. Dan, why don't you stand up and take a round of applause? We go to lunch, and I think he's very happy when I go to lunch with him because he knows he's going to eat good, right, Dan? So the AHEPA over the last many years has tried to do so many different things, and we take a shotgun approach to a lot of things. But these types of events are something that we really, really slow down and take our time to do, because it's very important that the organization recognize individuals of unique caliber and of unique talent. And one of our recipients this evening, all of them are very unique in their own way, and they're all very deserving. But Nick Larigakis and I, and this is Nick's bailiwick, when he goes around and says, look, there's only two professional people that speak for the Greek community. He says, me and Basil. Well, I never perceived myself as a professional speaker on our issues, but thank you very much for the compliment. But Nick has been in Washington for 25, 26, or 28 years, something like that. And we share many similarities. We're both from the Philadelphia area. He claims that New Jersey is part of Philadelphia. We don't take that, but it's okay. And we grew up understanding, the same baseball teams and the same football teams, so we got to know each other very, very early, and we worked very, very closely. And for over 25 years, Nick has been a very, very outspoken advocate, of course on the Cyprus issue, but also on all the issues that AHEPA takes time to invest energy and effort and money, whether it's Cyprus, whether it's the Macedonian name issue, whether it's the Halki issue, or the freedom of our patriarch in Constantinople. So, that brings us to today. Today, Nick, the Order of AHEPA, I'll ask our Supreme President to come up forward, please. Today, the Order of AHEPA has determined that as a public advocate, that our highest advocacy award should be awarded to you, and it fills me with tremendous pride to be able to give it to you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Larigakis.
Let me begin with a story. I've said on a number of occasions before, under such auspicious moments. My parents cannot be with me here tonight. They're getting up there in years a little bit now, and it's not easy for them to travel. Basil, in his introduction, said of my growing up in New Jersey. South Jersey, that is correct. Growing up in South Jersey, all I wanted to do was play baseball for the Philadelphia Phillies. That was my passion. Couldn't quite hit that curveball, though. So, I did play baseball 4 years in high school nonetheless, and that's as best as I could do. But that was no easy task because my mother every year would not really want to sign the permission form to allow me to participate in baseball. So, as baseball season would come around every year, I would have to negotiate with my mother until she eventually relented and allowed me to play. If you sign this form, I will come back every night after practice, no matter how tired I am, and I will wash the dishes every night during baseball season. She says, it's a deal. And she signed it. So the time came for me to come and fulfill my obligation to my mother. And as I came home from a dirty uniform, 2 hours of baseball practice, of course my mother was working the line in a catering facility for $2.50 an hour. That was a lot more tougher. Be it as it may, I came home and I said, okay, Mom, I'm going to do the dishes. She says, no. You're going to sit here and you're going to read Greek to me out of this book. And I'm going to wash the dishes. Because she went on to tell me through that we have a great culture, something that we're proud to inherit. And we need to defend that inheritance. There's a statue down the street here in front of one of the Smithsonian buildings, and I'm paraphrasing loosely, and there's this, it's sort of like a Roman, or rather a Spartan soldier sitting there, and it says on the bottom of the pedestal about the price of freedom needs constant vigilance. And that's what we need to continue to do on a single day that we see. I took that to heart from my mother, and so I came to Washington. I pursued this career in international relations, and brought me to what has been a perfect fit in advocating for the issues affecting U.S.-Greek-Cyprus relations. But as John said, they are not parochial issues. They don't affect Greece and Cyprus only. And we don't do it because of Greece and Cyprus only. They are divided principles of democratic U.S. principles of democracy and the rule of law. And we do it because it's in Americans' interest to do so and to pursue these causes. I take exceptional honor and humility, frankly, to be receiving an award tonight with such distinguished honorees as Congressman John Sarbanes, as Congressman Ed Royce, people who have championed our causes here on Capitol Hill, Panicos Papanicolaou, who leads a tremendous organization and who fights on a daily basis, not throughout the world really. He's constantly traveling. Frankly, I don't know when he has the time for his day job. I assume he's got a good administrators back in his office. I congratulate you, Panicos, and all the others. And of course, there's so many other people in this room here tonight, that need no recognition from me for what they've done. It's been talked about earlier here tonight. However, again, for me, it's a special meaning to receive this award from AHEPA, its first award, and to receive it on Capitol Hill. Because as the American Hellenic Institute was founded back in '74, its number one priority was the invasion of Cyprus. And back in '74, as Joyce likes to say, with AHEPA's money, we were able, back then, to put in place an embargo against the Republic of Turkey for its illegal invasion of Cyprus, against extraordinary odds at the time. It's not something that any one of us should take lightly, that particular victory in 1974. Unfortunately, though, 38 years later, Cyprus, a member of the European Union, is occupied by a member of NATO, because that's what Turkey is. It's a NATO member, and its troops, all 43,000 of them, are NATO troops who occupy the Republic of Cyprus. And that's disgraceful, and it's a stain on all of us. And we need to rededicate ourselves, all of us. For 38 years, and I've been doing this for 25 years exclusively at AHI, we have passed resolutions, we have introduced resolutions, one after another. We've got to graduate past that. We know what the problems are. We know what they are. But now we need to get past that and start resolving some of these issues. And that means our government, at its highest point, at the State Department, at the Executive Office, and other centers, included in these halls of Congress, need to be stepping up to the plate and more fully attacking where the problem is. And that, unfortunately, still lies with the government of Turkey, and it's multiple divisions. It's the Patriarchate issues, it's the FYROM issue, it's on a constant day the Aegean issue, and when Greece right now is fighting for its life and its economy, and it will overcome, because 2,500 years and what Greece has gone through, okay, the current state of affair pales in what Greece has suffered over its tremendous history. But every day that those Turkish jets fly over and impede upon Greek sovereign territory, it costs the Greek government €500 million a year to defend its national airspace and its national integrity. And that is something that it can ill afford to do at this moment in time when every dime counts. So ladies and gentlemen, the work is not done. We celebrated Greek Independence Day just a couple of days ago in various areas around the country, in this Congress, in New York, in Philadelphia, and for others here to come. But I submit, we're not completely yet independent. Until our brethren, our Hellenic brethren in Cyprus, is completely whole, is completely free, completely united, and every Turkish soldier is off that island, I don't think we can completely claim true and complete independence. Until Turkey stops violating the territorial integrity of its airspace of Greece, that can't happen either. And as long as Macedonia considers, or FYROM considers, that Greece is occupying its territory, well, you know, what can I say? It goes on and on and on. We got a lot of issues, but all politics is local. And today AHEPA has done a tremendous job by organizing this particular event here today to again reawaken the spirit of the grassroots and the spirit of all politics is local, and Tip O'Neill, and you brought the local.
Today was a wonderful event for AHEPA on Capitol Hill. Annually, we visit our representatives in the United States Congress, and we show them the grassroots supports that AHEPA offers them. Additionally, we visit our members of the Senate, and we remind them of the importance of all our issues for Greece, Cyprus, and of course the Patriarchate. We concluded our events today with a wonderful banquet this evening, where we honored Congressman John Sarbanes, Congressman Ed Royce, and individuals who are very important to our communities, such as Panicos Papanicolaou, the president of the Cyprus Federation, and Nick Larigakis, the president of the American Hellenic Institute. It was just a beautiful day for AHEPA and for the Greek community in Washington, D.C.
I want to thank AHEPA for this leadership award. It means a great deal to me because it comes from one organization like AHEPA, who's been doing so much for the Greek American community for so many years. Also, I want to thank and congratulate the other honorees for all that they're doing for our community and Greece and in Cyprus. And of course, as President of the Cyprus Federation, I think I could not do what I do on a daily basis for our community and the Cyprus issue and all the Hellenic issues without the help and the support of my board, and also without the help of many other organizations in our community, including AHEPA, the American Hellenic Institute, the Coordinated Effort, and all the other federations that deal with our national issue.
Okay, it's very important that the members of our Greek community, as AHEPA did today, come to Capitol Hill and lobby their members of Congress, whether it's Washington, D.C., and that's great to come to the Capitol, but even lobbying our members of Congress at home in their districts so that they know how important these issues are to us. Whether it's the Ecumenical Patriarchate or Patriarchate, whether it's Halki, the school, the seminary, whether it's Cyprus, whether it's the issue with FYROM, they need to know how important these issues are to us, and that we do take offense when they use Greece as an example, because there are economic bad times all over the world. Πρέπει να μάθουν, να ξέρουν how we feel about these particular issues. So this was wonderful that AHEPA came today. It was very successful, and we must continue it. Σας ευχαριστώ.
Well, I'm very proud of AHEPA. What an incredible organization, celebrating its 90th year. This was an organization founded on the principle of combating intolerance and discrimination, which is what America stands for. So hats off to AHEPA for all the great work that it's done over the years. When it comes to issues that affect the Greek American community, very, very important for us, because these are critical issues that matter to our community, and AHEPA has always been there fighting very hard. They come to Capitol Hill, they advocate, they demonstrate public service, which is what they were doing today, and of course this banquet here this evening brought recognition to some of the advocates that have worked so hard on behalf of AHEPA and on behalf of the issues that affect our community. So I'm just thrilled to be connected to this organization with all of the great work that they've done over the years.